Do you have a passion for health and you ever wanted or wish that you can get paid to share health knowledge, to study health? Do you find yourself reading everything that you can, or learning or watching videos and podcasts, or attending classes, certifications, or you just can't get enough to understand about how the body works, about nutrition, disease, fitness, diseases, cause, prevention, cure, fitness, or these other wellness related subjects? Well, today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 ways that you can get paid to learn while you earn, where you can turn your passion for health into a profitable health business. And if you have a desire, if you're currently a health coach or you desire to be a health coach and you want to get paid and you want the money to fuel some of the education, passion, and learning that you are just like a lifelong learner on the subject, and you want to be able to share with others, this video is for you, because I'm going to share with you some proven strategies that you can make a premium while still learning a lot. Even if you're currently in certification program, if you're currently in school learning, or if you're going through courses to understand about health, or you want to continue your education, or you want to learn, whether it's online or in traditional education or in online podcast and self-education, then I'm going to share with you some ways. The first way that you can do this is conduct health interviews. And what do I mean by that? There's an example where in my book on high-ticket health coaching, my best-selling book, I talk about this concept of creating a reporter's platform, where as a reporter, what you do is you're able to go interview health experts. I was consulting with someone who's a fibromyalgia coach, and when I was talking to her, and I was sharing with her that she's able to interview experts on the subject of fibromyalgia. You could create a platform where you're able to get on Zoom or Riverside. You could go on Zoom, a simple recording, interview individuals who, let's say you can find someone who wrote a book about sugar and the harmful effects of like white sugar and what it can do. Go find that expert, interview them on your show, talk to them about all the questions you're interested in, and say, hey, how does sugar affect fibromyalgia? How does this sweeteners and impact the fibromyalgia, the fatigue, and fibromyalgia is when someone has like pain in every cell of their body, and it's usually just a lot of chronic fatigue and low energy and exhaustion, and everything seems much more difficult. It's caused a lot of inflammation. So she can go find an expert on the topic of inflammation and go interview them and show how does inflammation affect those with fibromyalgia. And by picking conversations with people who someone with fibromyalgia would be interested in listening to, you don't have to be the message, you could be the messenger. You don't have to be the results expert, you could be the reporter expert. And this is a concept that I talk about in my book on high-ticket health coaching, and that's exactly what the author of the book Life Force did, Tony Robbins. One thing that's kind of fascinating about his journey is that he interviewed people many times when he wanted to learn a skill and he was passionate about a subject. He would just go interview the world's best on that field, and he would package these interviews. And this is where you can get paid. You can actually package these interviews together and sell it into an audio interview series or a video series or a summit, a live summit online. You're able to take the interviews and sell it in a program that people are gladly willing to pay. How do I know? Well, if you look at the back of this book, it says that Life Force, this book, is a result of interviews with more than 100 of the world's top medical pioneers and of Robbins going on his own life-changing journey. So you're able to share your life-changing journey and interview others. In fact, one of the things that Tony did early in his career, he realized that there are certain individuals who are in like 60s, 70s, 80s, and they're climbing Mount Everest, they're climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, they're becoming like world-class athletes who are doing ultra marathons, who are doing Ironmans, and in their older years, their later years of life, they have found ways to have peak performance, peak physical fitness, their mind is intact, their memory is not degrading, it's actually getting stronger as they age. And so what he did as a younger guy who's interested in health and one who's overcame his own cancer experience, he went and he interviewed he interviewed 100 of these ultra elite athletes who started their athletic journey after the age of 60. And by doing that, what he did, and why, is because he wanted to have peak performance in his later years of life. And he was personally interested in the subject, so he went and found people who have the results that he wanted. He interviewed them, and then he bundled together his interviews. And he often called these things like power talks, where he would sell these interviews. He would use them as bonuses in his courses, his programs, and he'd sell these interviews with other people, experts in whatever the field is, and he'd make millions of dollars literally taking these interviews of other experts who have the knowledge that he wants to gather. So that's a powerful way to build a business, especially if you're just getting started, especially if you're not a world-renowned health expert yet. This is one way that you can start to establish yourself in a field, is go borrow their expertise as you build your expertise. Go borrow their audience to build your audience. And there's a principle that anything you lack in resources, you could always make up in leverage. What is leverage? It's leveraging other people's time, other people's knowledge, other people's experiences, other people's audiences. By you interviewing them, you're being perceived by your dream client, your ideal customer, that you're well connected in the community. And when you take all of their favorite mentors of these health educators in this space or in the industry, and you're there interviewing them, then people automatically see you as being a very credible source as well. So that's a powerful way. In fact, it even worked for Russell Brunson, this college student who just was fascinated with wrestling. He wrote the book. I don't have the book here, but he wrote the book Expert Secrets. And what he did is, while he was in college, he was fascinated with wrestling, and he was also fascinated with marketing, and he was taking marketing classes, and he was learning about business, and he was trying to go this educational route to understand how could he build a business online. And what he found, this is like in the early 2000s, that he didn't really know much about like email marketing or SEO optimization or some of these different like latest ways to make money online. The internet was this new thing. So what did he do? He searched for the world's best author or expert on email marketing, and he interviewed them. And what he shares is that a lot of times these people who've ever written books, when people write books on a subject, that means they're very passionate about the subject they're writing. And it's authors. You could take literally your favorite authors, your favorite podcasters, your favorite content creators that you enjoy learning from, and you're just like, oh, if only I could just pick their brain or learn or sit with them, or if I could share, if I could learn from them personally. Well, you can by creating a reporter's platform. When you have a platform, then authors will be happy to be interviewed on your show because you have something they want, which is an audience. And they have something you want, which is the knowledge. It's the expertise and experience. And so you're able to ask them to say, hey, I have a podcast and I'd love for you to be interviewed on my show. And you could talk about the topics you're interested in and that your ideal client is interested in paying you for. And by doing that, many times these some of the best-selling authors are glad, if they like put together an entire book on the subject, they are just many times just waiting for the opportunity to share on this topic of expertise that they're so excited about. And this is what Russell Brunson figured out when he was in his early 20s, where he started interviewing the world's best email marketer, SEO, Google Ads, and these different like website developers. And he started to interview these marketing experts in their field. And not having the knowledge, he wanted to learn himself. He was interested in it. So what he did is he packaged the recordings and he sold this as a summit, as an early product, and he was making hundreds of thousands of dollars selling a program of him interviewing people, learning the own subject that he was interested in. And now he is one of the world's best marketers that are alive today, and he built a marketing company that generates over $300 million a year. But his journey started by him interviewing experts on the topic that he was interested in entering. And you can do this with health subjects on all sorts of topics, whether it's overcoming diabetes, whether it's dealing with gallstones naturally, whether it's lowering their blood pressure naturally, or losing weight, or being a fitness instructor. A variety of these opportunities are afforded to you, and you could make a lucrative business interviewing experts who already have the audience and credibility. In fact, I bought a boot camp when AI came out, and AI was AI has been around for decades, really, but when AI really became popular with the rise of ChatGPT, Billie Jean's marketing, what he did is he wanted to get a grasp of how to use AI for marketing, how to use AI for building a business and make sense of this. So what he did is he interviewed some of, he grabbed the TED Talk on AI that has the #1 most viewed leading authority on AI that's been around for years. He paid him to consult with him and to be able to have a consultation session where he recorded it. And then he also interviewed multiple AI experts. There's one guy who started contracting with the US government with AI. He found the Boston bomber with AI technology, and he's been doing it for decades. Since he was a child, he hacked into NASA, they found him, and they're like, look, if you got two options, you're gonna go to jail or you're gonna work with us, which would you like to do? And he's like, well, I'll work with you. And so he's gotten billion-dollar contracts with the government doing AI and technology things. And so he's starting to interview these experts who's been in the field for years, but his questions are of a nature that he's tailoring. These AI people, experts can teach about all sorts of subjects, right? But Billie Jean is marketing. So he's asking them marketing questions and how entrepreneurs can use AI to build a business. And this is like right when these things started to come out. And Billie Jean, you can tell, he's got his curiosity cap on. He's in there interviewing, asking questions he wants to know. But this is the beautiful part about it. Then he packaged these interviews together and he created a challenge, and he sold that challenge for like $200. And I bought it and I went through it and I was extremely glad. Billie Jean was not positioning himself as the AI expert. He was positioning himself as the reporter who is now going to interview and report and extract from these people who I otherwise wouldn't have access to. And the money that he paid to interview them, he was able to get that back because he sold thousands of these $200 boot camps. And at this event, he was able to make another offer for his AI marketing agency, which was tens of thousands of dollars. And so he made 6 figures at least, possibly 7 figures, just from this event where he's interviewing experts on a subject that he's passionate about learning for himself. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Is this making sense? So there's a lot of opportunities that you have to be able to interview other health experts, to learn yourself and earn while you learn. You can get paid to do this. So the second way that you can get paid to learn about health and build a profitable business is this concept that is known as document, don't create. What do I mean by this? Instead of trying to create content on the subject, as again, where you are this health expert, where you got to know all these years of experience and have all these testimonials and case studies and people you've helped, if you don't have any of those things, that's okay. You could document your discoveries. You could document what you're learning as you're learning. In fact, this is exactly what Joe Cross did with the best-selling book, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. When he found himself, he had the background of being a lawyer. He was not a health expert, but he found himself overweight, sick, nearly dead, and he's in need of a physical transformation in his health. So he documents his journey. He says, look, I'm not where I want to be ultimately. I want to go there. And so like one way that you can think about it is imagine you and the people that are going to pay you. Here you're at the beginning of this journey, and you want to get to this goal. You want to maybe overcome your fibromyalgia. Maybe you're fascinated about women's health, or maybe you want to master your diabetes or lose weight. You're on this journey, whatever the case is, you're able to document your discoveries as you go. And there is going to be a step-by-step framework or path that you could follow in order to get that transformation. And so what Document Don't Create shows is, instead of trying to pretend that you are further than you are and say, oh, I'm up here at the top and look at what I've done, because you don't have that story yet and you don't need it to make big money with a small audience. What you can do is you could say, this is where I'm going. I'm not there yet, but I want to be. And this is my goal. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna invite you to follow me on my journey as I learn, as I invest in myself, as I go through health certifications, as I go through, listen to podcasts, I'm gonna listen to TED Talks, as I get to understand more about my body, my health, my fitness. And as you go through this journey, you are recording content, you are interviewing, you're doing these audio interviews with people, and as you share, you're just documenting your discoveries, what's insightful to you, and you're reporting in your content. You're saying, hey, this is what this individual was doing, this is what this author said. And you don't have to be a content creator, you could be a content curator. And a curator is one who starts to curate the ideas and hard to find information, piece them together, or like Billie Jean is marketing. Like, sure, we could watch the AI videos on TED Talks that are talking about general AI, but I'm a marketer, I'm a digital marketer, I'm a business owner. I would love to have his knowledge and insight as it relates to the marketing that I'm doing. You understand what I'm saying? So there is value in curating, there is value in reporting, there's value in being able to take hard to find information online and then piece it together and present it to your ideal clients on the topics that are most interesting to them. Is this making sense, friends? So what you can do is you can document, don't create. In fact, recently I did I shared at a school that that trains like naturopathic doctors and other health practitioners, and I shared one of my signature talks of I'm a certified health coach, now what do I do? And as I was sharing there, I was able to teach, there's several doctors and health professionals and holistic educators that was able to listen. And I was talking to the director of the school. She was like, this is amazing. I really like this presentation. I like what you're sharing. I'm going to take your book and I'm going to make this a required reading for all of my PhD students, because they need to understand marketing. They need to understand how to build the business. And that's not really what we do. But if that's something you do, and I love how you share, this is going to be going into my curriculum. And I told her, I'm like, that's great. You know, what I could do even better, if you'd like, I could create a video series that you could license and put inside of your content. So it could be like a module in your online campus, so that when your students are going through, they could also be trained on some of the topics that I repeat and enlarge in upon my book. She's like, all right, that sounds great, let's do that. So we're in the process of getting that set up right now. But one of our conversations, I really liked it, because she was sharing how she often encourages her students that as you are working to get your PhD in naturopathy, as you are learning to be a professional health practitioner, it's so important that you start marketing now. Start building your business while you start earning while you are learning. That you don't have to wait until you get to the end of the training before you do anything. A lot of people, they want to compartmentalize, and that's one of the things that really trips them up, because a lot of people think that they get more health training, more health certifications, it's going to magically bring business to them. But the reality is, I talk to health coaches all the time, and many of them have gone through health certifications and they've received little to no marketing business training based on what's really working now, modern marketing methods of what's working now in the marketplace. And so they don't know how to get their ideal clients. They don't know how to pick a profitable niche. They don't know how to price their programs, their coaching, and they don't really understand the marketing and sales principles that are needed to build a business. So what the director was saying is, she was saying how she teaches her students that, hey, if you're already going to be doing a dissertation, then make your dissertation be a book, turn it into a book, so that you can hit the ground running when you graduate. And she's like, look, if you go in any professional fields while they're going to school, like if you take a lawyer, for instance, a lawyer who graduates from law school is going to automatically have law firms and clients knocking at their door, busting them down to get paid to pay them for their law education, unless while they are learning, they start marketing, they start networking, they start putting out content in the marketplace to let people know that their business exists, to make themselves findable to those who would pay them for what they're learning. And so she shared with me how it's important to not just focus like, I got to do this health certification, and then you finish and you're like, oh, now what do? I'm certified and there's no clients coming in. Well, it's because you took a health training, but what you really needed was a wealth training that's going to help you to grow your business. And I was like, that's so true. So we're going to combine my wealth training with marketing and business with her health training and be able to put these together to create a more holistic, truly holistic approach. Now, so what you're able to do is, as you learn, you're able to document your journey. You could even start posting, if you're currently in a health certification or a health training or a wellness training, start creating content, start interviewing. You can interview some of your teachers. You can interview some of the health experts on these topics, and they will give you some of these interviews. You could report on some lessons you've been discovering, and that will help you to build a business, help you build a community where people start to pay you. And it's so interesting that a lot of times people want to build a business and they're going through health certification after health certification, and they're trying to they have a passion for health and they want to get paid for their health advice and they want to build a business, but they're doing the same things over and over. But the reality is nothing changes if nothing changes. I heard of a man who was at work and he opened up his lunch pail and he's like, oh, it's the same thing every single time. It's the same sandwich every day, in, out, and day out. You get the same sandwich, and his coworker's like, well, hey bro, it's like, you don't have to get so angry about it. If you don't like your sandwich, just ask your wife to pack something different. And he's like, leave my wife out of it. I pack my own lunch. And you could see it's like, wait a second. The point of this story is to recognize that we reap what we sow. When we're doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, what is that called? That's a definition of insanity. So if you want to get paid for your health advice, you can't just continue learning and taking and pursuing this passion for health and without learning also shifting some of your focus to understand some of the marketing of that health, to learn how to package that health knowledge in a way that people would pay you for it, where you could package your knowledge and get paid to, how would you like to get paid to earn while you learn? That you don't have to do either or. When I learn, then I will earn. No, you could start earning now, no matter where you are on your health education journey. One of the ways is document, don't create. The third way that I would share is to host events, which you have the opportunity. This is really powerful, both virtual and physical events, where you can invite health speakers on that subject, similar to interviews, but you don't have to interview them. You just ask them to speak. You ask them to share on the topics that you're passionate about, and allow them to make an offer. A lot of times what happens is if they have a course or a coaching program, or they have a offer or a retreat or an event or ticket somewhere that they want to sell in their business, then if you bring an audience together, which that audience can be built from your health interviews, you don't have to do one or the other. You can do all of them or any of them, but you invite other knowledgeable health experts to speak at your events, whether in person or online, and then allow them to make an offer. And it's very common to split 50-50, especially if it's like an online course or information products. In fact, I just spoke at an event, and while speaking over there, we were able to split some of the commissions from the people who came. A client of mine gathered the people together at the event. I was able to present an offer. We made $8,000 speaking at this event, and we were able to split. He was able to get some of the commissions, and I was able to keep it, and I'm going to be fulfilling. I got more clients. He got more money. He was able to learn from all of the speakers and guest speakers who attended, and I was able to learn from the people that are there, and I was able to share. So there's a lot of speakers who are willing to speak at your event, and if you give them opportunity to make an offer to your audience, then you could split the commissions, and there you've got the event paid for, you've got the speakers paid for, you get more to go to take home with you, and you get to sit and learn and absorb all of this knowledge that you're so passionate and excited about. And there's just powerful ways to be able to bring these things together that you can continue to make a living while you are learning the skills, the health skills to transform people's lives. So hopefully this is encouraging to help you to understand how you could build your business without having to wait until you gathered all of this experience, gone through all this journey and gotten all these results. It's not necessary when you're able to position your guests as the experts, and people will actually pay you to have access to the knowledge and the experts that they otherwise would never have access to. So if you're interested in learning more about building any of these things that we talked about, Reporter's platform, building a business that is profitable on your health knowledge, I've had the privilege to be able to grow our family business to over $500,000 in profits on a health education business, and been a professional speaker teaching health classes, cooking classes, health education internationally since I was 17 years old. And this book is just packaged in some of the essentials. It's not a big, thick encyclopedia. It just cuts it down to just the things that matter most. That will be a quick read that will help you to be able to grow your business, establish yourself as an authority in your industry so that your ideal clients can know who you are and come to you, and you get paid to speak, paid to learn. If you're interested in any of these things, I encourage you to grab a copy of my book. In fact, what I'll do is I'm willing to send you a free copy of my book. As long as you pay for shipping and handling, then I'll cover the cost of the book, send it to you. Just go to the website, highincomehealthexpert.com/book. Or comment book down below, and I'll be happy to share with you the resource. Thank you so much for watching, friends. And remember, God doesn't call a qualified, He qualifies a called. Have a great day, and God bless.